Hi guys, hi. Okay, hi PPJ Freshies. If you could settle down. Okay, hi PPJ Freshies. Welcome to the PPJ academic briefing. So I'm Emily, I'm one of your seniors. But today we have with us Assistant Prof. Dylan, who will be sharing more about PPJ.
Thank you, Emily. Welcome again, a very warm welcome to PPGA. This will be really brief. I think you guys have a long morning already. And I don't propose reading every single thing on the slide, but I'll just like to give you an overview of what to expect. And to be honest, you will find the details available on the website in any case. So congratulations, you have made the right choice in coming to PPGA. And all of us look forward to welcoming you. We like seeing new faces because for us, while we age, the students, their age never changes. And sometimes it makes me feel a bit young. And I think I can speak for some of my colleagues that way as well. The outline as follows today, very straightforward. I will talk about some of the academic requirements. So you need to get up to speed in what AU means, academic units, because you will be hearing this term very regularly in your 4 years here at NTU. We'll leave some time for Q&A, and at the end of this session, I believe I will show a map where you will meet your academic mentors, so you can speak to them about academic planning, student life, FYP if you would like, or internship if you would like, but a bit premature, but still you'll get a chance to meet your faculty. So let's talk about academic requirement first. For most of you, this is a 4-year course in public policy and global affairs. So for most of you, you need to complete what we call 125 academic units. Now, most of our courses are either 3 AUs or 4 AUs. And as long as you fulfill the 125 academic units, you have deemed to have passed the requirement. Of course, there will be some semesters where you can so-called overload. You take on more academic units. Certainly not in your first years, but in your subsequent years, some students do that so that in their 3rd years and their 4th years, they can explore doing other things like overseas, exchange, semester-long exchange, and so forth. But we'll talk more about that in a bit. So for a typical PPGA program, this looks like this. It looks like this in terms of the AUs that you need to take. There are major requirements, 60 AUs, of which 15 AUs are core. You will complete your core in your 1st year. I will see all of you, if not most of you, in the core course, Intro to Foreign Policy, next week as well. That is the core course. So for core course, you have 15 AUs, and that is already, I believe, pre-registered, will be pre-registered for you. On top of that, you need to take 45 AUs worth of what we call prescribed electives. These are PPGA courses, either public policy or global affairs. And there's a suite of courses that you can select and choose. So more than enough for you to select and choose. And of course, there's a possibility for you to deepen your public policy track or your global affairs track. We also have what we call the Interdisciplinary Collaborative Core, or ICC. This is essentially a university-wide program that you need to take. It teaches things like ethics, digital literacy, writing, and so on and so forth, which forms the core, ideally, for you to undertake your other years at NTU. And finally, this will be the fun part where you can take basically any course in NTU, 37 AUs worth of broadening and deepening electives. It is for you to explore other topics that you would not normally come into contact with. When I was a student at NTU, I took a course on singing. And it was quite fun, I have to say, it's quite fun. It's called voice production. I'm not sure if it's still around anymore, but these are the sorts of courses that you can take for fun. And of course, you should have some fun at university, right? There are some of you that have a second major in media journalism and studies. And to be honest, it's not too different other than allowing you a bit more AUs for the BDEs, the broadening and deepening electives, so that you can foreseeably hit the requirements to get a second major in media journalism. How many of you are on this program here today? Okay, a couple of you. Yeah, so this will be most relevant for you. But again, your experience shouldn't differ too much from the PPJ majors. You'll see that you also require 125 AUs. just very briefly going through some of the courses that's offered by the ICC modules that you need to take. So very general, but in our view also quite necessary for you to really fully appreciate and be able to work in future-ready careers. You have stuff on sustainability, science and technology, health and well-being. You will see that the one in bold, professional attachment and professional internship. Do not worry about that for now because you will not need to think about that in your first year, but this is a compulsory element for HB 3080. I mentioned earlier some of you will take on a semester-long, longer-term exchange over 2 semesters, I believe, for 12 AUs. So this will also add on to your AU requirements. 1 semester, okay, over 1 semester, yeah, 1 semester, 12 AUs for 1 semester. This will go towards fulfilling your AUs as well. So this is just to give you a sense, a flavor of the kinds of courses offered in ICC. Broadening and deepening electives, as I mentioned earlier, you can choose to do any modules. Some of our students do it strategically. They will try to find which are the quote-unquote easier modules to do. Some of them are quite popular. So it is meant for you to really see the different schools, get in touch with a entirely different domain in NTU and what we have to offer. The last bit there, the final point, single major PPJ students, which a majority of you are, may opt to read 1 or 2 minors or a second major. So this is something that you can think about and consider moving on. And of course, have a chat with your mentor as well. Keep in touch with them as you progress in your first year. So again, to reiterate, this is the main bulk of majority of you, what you need to do, because these are the major requirements, the core and the prescribed elective. And again, for the ones here with a second major, the only difference really is in the allocation of AUs for major prescribed and BDEs. So what are the courses specifically? Introduction to International Relations and Foreign Policy. That will be the course that I believe all of you will be there for next week. Introduction to Political Theory, Fundamentals of Politics, Introduction to Public Administration and Politics of Singapore, covering both the public policy prong and also the global affairs or international relations part of the course. The core are, of course, non-negotiable. It's already there for you. Some of the PPJ prescribed electives require you to have completed the core course before you can take their courses. So for some of the courses, a requirement would be, say, HA 1001, Introduction to International Relations. So you need to complete this course before you can take it in your second year, or sometimes in your first year, second semester. But don't worry, the course requirements will be stated quite explicitly for you when you do your course registration. So this is how it looks like for the core courses. Again, it will be there registered for you. Although the class will be bigger because you will have other students from other programs wanting to take the core course as well. Major requirements for major prescribed electives. There are around 7 courses from level. You will find that the terms here, HA1, HA 1002, 1012, will often begin with that starting alphabet, HA2 something something or HA3 something something, to indicate the level of difficulty that the course would entail. So choose any 7 courses from the 2000 or 3000 basket and any 4 courses from the level 4000 basket. Now, the graduation project, we call it final year project as well, or graduation project, it means the same thing, will be applicable to students with a GPA of 3.9. So if you have 3.9 or above, you must do a GPA. If you don't want to do the FYP, you can opt out, but there are consequences for opting out, and I'll get to that in a bit. Now, for those that do not hit the requirement to do the graduation project, what do you do with the lost AUs of 8 AUs? You have to take 2 courses, level 4000 courses, So 2 level 4000 courses to make up for the FYP. For PPMJ, Slight difference in, you will see 7 and 4, and here is 5 and 3. But the information and the requirement for graduation project remains the same. You will need to do it if your GPA hits this number. If you don't do it, you need to take 2 4,000 level courses in replacement. The courses are already uploaded in the website. Now, some of the course outline may not be the latest, so just keep that in mind. It may be outdated. Your course instructor may give you an updated course curriculum in the course itself, but it will give you a good idea of what the courses entail. Not so important for you right now, because for your first semester, a lot of the things are already registered for you, but as you go on, it will be good to know what courses are offered and who is offering them, and the kinds of readings or assessments that are entailed. Suggested study plan. Now, this is a very ideal, typical type. It's a model kind of study plan for PPGA majors. Of course, you don't have to follow it completely alike, but this is what it typically looks like. So in your first year, in red, you will see those are the core modules. You also need to take 2 or 3 ICC mods up until your second year. But your core courses will be done, will be finished in your first year. All your core courses will be done in your first year. And then you will see the ones in blue, which is your major, what I call the major prescribed electives, which you can start taking in your second semester already, in fact, and some students do. But bear in mind that your classmates may be folks from year 3, year 4, so they'll be your seniors. Just keep that in mind. But essentially, this is a very good overview of how a typical PPGA major looks like. For PBMJ, again, just with some small tweaks, not that different. You will also complete your core courses all in the first year. You just need to take a bit more BDEs as well, but that's quite straightforward, I think, not very complicated. Compulsory attachment, 5 AUs, over 10 weeks. You will be assigned an academic supervisor through this web application called In Place. You'll get in touch with it. You will get to know what the Career Attachment Office is, because they will help you with your internship. Normally taken at the end of year 2. So again, some distance away from now, so you do not have to worry for the moment. You can take on a professional internship, which is semester long and lasts longer than the compulsory professional attachment. Some students do. They want to clock up the internship. They may want to work in wherever they are attached eventually. So it works for some, but not everyone does. And bear in mind that this is subject to approval. So the school, the program needs to approve of you doing the professional internship. The AUs from the internship, for the professional internship, will be drawn from your ICC AUs and your BDE AUs. So it's a trade-off. If you want to do a professional internship and gain more industry experience, it could come at the expense of perhaps trying something new in a different part of NTU in a totally different domain. So you have some flexibility and autonomy in crafting how you wish your career here at NTU plays out. Assessments. We have a wide variety of assessments. I think all our faculty members here are quite creative in how they set up their assessments. If there is final examination will not take up more than 60%. I would say a good number, maybe even a majority of the courses here at PPGA are non-examinable. So I guess that's good news for you, so you don't have to go to exam room. Even though exams still play a very important role, for those that are 100% continual assessment, even those that have exam components, typically it comes in the form of group projects, work in groups, essays, take-home essays you write, quizzes, and quizzes can be MCQs, it can be short answer questions in the classroom. It can be field trips. Participation, I think participation is probably present in almost every course. Class participation. It's meant to encourage discussion, to get you to speak, to get you to learn from your peers. So that is a very strong recurring feature in all the courses, actually, that participation will feature quite prominently. I'll speak a little bit about graduation project, even though I think it's a bit early. So I mentioned that if you have a GPA of more than 3.9, you must take the FYP or GP, but you can opt not to do, with the caveat here that you will not have this word, the distinction, in your degree if you choose not to do the GP. So what are the other criteria? You must have already completed 91 AUs. So you're at the tail end, finishing up your major here already, completed all the core course, which shouldn't be an issue because in the first year you have done so. You must have clocked at least 7 major prescribed electives. And then you see the range there. What if you are like 3.89 and you really want to do? That's okay. We will allow you to opt in at our discretion. But in our experience, by and large, unless there's very strong reasons for us not to do so, we generally would also want you to do the FYP if you want to do so. So if you fall slightly below the range of 3.9, from 3.75 to 3.89, you can opt in to do the FYP. If you get 3.74, you will not be allowed, even if you appeal and if you indicate that you want to do the graduation project, we will not allow you to do the GP, and you must do 2 level 4,000 courses to fulfill the 8 AU requirements. This is just some general advice for you. To be honest, once you get into the thick of it in your first semester, second semester, all of you will be able to navigate the NTU system very well. And of course, you have your academic mentors and a very friendly undergraduate office who will be able to help you with the queries that you have. Please use your NTU email account for all communications with NTU. Every year, and I teach a core course, so it boggles the mind how I need to teach students about email etiquette. For example, when you send me an email for assignments, there will be students that send without a subject title, without any body content at all, and just have the attachment. Now, obviously, I'm not going to mark you down for that. I will still assess the component, but it's not very professional. And if you develop this habit that cannot be corrected when you get into the workplace, it wouldn't be too professional as well. So please be professional about it. Use your NTU email account. All of you are given an NTU email account, so we will communicate with you through the NTU email account. Take note of your matric number. Your matric number is your, I believe, unique identifier, so take note of that. The 2 emails provided there. General enquiries, that's the undergraduate office. Now, please do not overload them with emails. They are very busy. If some information can be found on the website, go and consult the website first. Exhaust those options before emailing your friendly staff at the undergraduate office. Any program-specific enquiries, the email is there. If you have any questions about very specific courses, say the core course that you need to take, email the course coordinator. He or she will be able to help you with that. Okay, that's it. As I said, it's pretty straightforward. It's not very complicated. Essentially, we want to give you an overview of what to expect, the kinds of courses that's available, and how a typical 4 years at PPJ looks like. Any questions? Don't worry if you don't have, if you want to ask but you feel shy, you can always speak to your academic mentor later when we split into different groups. But feel free if you have any questions at all. Anyone? Any clarification, or if you think that something is unclear? Anyone? Anyone? Final call? Okay. Great, we have come to the most important part of the academic talk. Mentor meets mentee. The maps are available here. I think you should be able to see who your academic mentors are. I believe that is the stage. This is the back. So please go and coalesce around your academic mentors, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you.